American Sign Language is a language that has its own rules and grammar just like any other language has. It has its own grammar, its own syntax. It has all of the components of a language that English, for example, has. I'm Debbie Fetzer. I work at the Indiana School for the Deaf as the Professional Development Coordinator. ISD is a school for children that are deaf or hard of hearing. I am also the director of a performing troupe called Vibrations.
Vibrations is a visual performing arts group. It's very visual. We use American Sign Language, or ASL, and deaf culture, along with music to perform.
I guess I've just always believed that it's important to have a group of students go out into the community and represent the school, display their skills and their talents, and the kids are proud of their identity. And they love sharing their cultural experiences with people. They're very proud of that.
Hi, my name is Jenna Smith.
My name is Demi Bingham.
Simone James.
My name is Daniel Davis.
My name is Paige Hawkins.
My name is Brandy Welker.
Hi, I'm Kate Fetzer. I'm 16 years old and I love sports.
I'm Giovanni and I love to play basketball.
My hobbies, the things I love to do, are sports, whether it's volleyball, basketball, or softball.
I love sports, dancing, traveling, hanging out, focusing on my life and my goals. My goals are to be a performer or a fashion designer.
I think I was born with it. I think I was born with that desire to entertain.
I'm 12 years old, I'm in the 5th grade, and my hobby is dancing. I love to dance.
Papa said everything's alright.
The kids all come from different places. We have some kids who have been in movies, so they have kind of that experience already of performing. We have some kids who are in like national pageants or talent shows and things like that, where they've had stage experience and working with a crowd. And we have other kids who had never been on stage before.
I love dancing. I love watching people dance. It's a part of my passion. That dancing is a part of acting, entertaining. At home, I dance all the time, and my mom keeps telling me all the time, Sean, go and sit down, and go to your room if you want to dance, but I don't care. Even when she's watching TV all day, and she's like, no, I'm watching TV.
When I started going to the Indiana School for the Deaf, I wanted to make a deaf music video. I'd heard about them and watched some of the performances on the Deaf Performing Arts Network. I thought they seemed really interesting, and I wanted to be one of the hearing people that was willing to listen and try things out. I sat down to watch them dance, and I thought it was going to be maybe some music, and all of a sudden you just get attacked with just a cacophony. It was so much sound. You literally couldn't hear yourself think, but all these kids could feel the vibrations, and you could see them feeling it, this kind of listening that they were doing with their bodies. It was fascinating. And then they started dancing, actually dancing. It was an amazing experience, and it's just so formative about seeing a group of kids do something that you never thought for a second they were going to do. So immediately after we had acquired this entire crew, after we'd gotten everyone together, I got everyone back to the meeting room and told them, we're not doing a music video, we're doing a promotional video. And I told them about Vibrations, and I told them about the team and the school and how inspiring the story was, and everyone was immediately on board. It seemed like such an interesting thing of having hearing people and deaf people working together and working on a media that sometimes seems exclusively for the hearing world.
We did it all in 6 hours. Yes. You're like Ethan. Ethan and Ava.
I like coming to ISD better than going to public school because it's easier to make friends here. I didn't have a lot of friends in public school, but here I have a lot of friends.
ISD has more interaction and communication because we're all deaf. It would be harder for deaf people in a public school.
I'd agree, but it really varies. A deaf person may like being a part of the hearing world, and that may be their world. It really just depends on who that person is, their own preferences. Communication is important here, but the best part about being at ISD is that everybody communicates the same way with ASL.
Sometimes when I'm at a restaurant with a bunch of deaf friends, hearing people react differently. Sometimes they laugh, or they're trying to figure out what we're doing. And some people will come up to us because they learned some sign and want to introduce themselves. Hearing people react differently. I used to play on a softball team when I was the only deaf person on the team. Some of my teammates wanted to learn signs, others didn't. The coach wasn't sure how well I was going to play, and I wanted to prove them wrong, that I was just like everyone else. I just communicate differently.
Hearing people don't always know what it's like to be deaf, and they see deaf people can't do anything. But we can do anything except hear. People don't know what it's like to be deaf, and once they learn, they realize and make better decisions about us.
Some people call us disabled or hearing impaired. We'd rather be called deaf. People don't know what it's like to be deaf, and they're misinformed, but once they learn about our culture, they realize we can do anything except hear. It's just like Tyler said.
Discrimination still happens, and some white people used to discriminate against black people, and some still do. I think that autism or discrimination against the deaf will always continue.
For example, at hospitals when a deaf baby is born, the doctors will recommend a cochlear implant and say that the baby will be able to hear and talk and go to public school, and the parents believe them. They should tell the parents to take their kids to a deaf school so they can learn ASL as the first language, because it's so important. More and more kids are getting cochlear implants and going into mainstream schools, and a lot of deaf schools are dwindling. It's that autism, that discrimination that still happens.
We want to show that we can sing lyrics to songs in ASL, that we can perform, that we have performing arts, that deaf people can dance. Deaf people can entertain no matter who the audience is. Whether they're deaf or hearing, they'll be entertained. We have a rehearsal on Sunday, February 21st. We're going to rehearse here from 2:30 to 6. After the photography session, we'll have a run-through and a tech rehearsal for the Seymour show, which is Friday, where we'll perform there. And then we'll close with questions from the students, and then at 3:15, all of the students leave, and you will stay an extra half hour, 2 to 3 weeks from now, Friday the 26th, go to your first period. After that, you come here. We'll load up the bus and equipment, and we'll head out to our big show.
I first heard about this project when Keaton Wooden approached me and asked me if I would like to co-produce it with them. And when I heard about the story, that it was about a group of kids at the Indianapolis School for the Deaf that do dance choreography, I thought that that was amazing because I wanted to know how. And I learned that their name was Vibrations because they literally dance to the feeling of the bass from these massive speakers that just blow everybody in the audience away with such like a loud sound that you feel it in your chest.
For kids who are profoundly deaf, the way they experience music is they feel it. They can't hear it. There's nothing coming in auditorily, so they feel it. They feel the music. Through rehearsals, they learn how to count the music. They count along with the beats that they feel the vibrations from. They start memorizing dance steps to the counts and make sure that it ties into the beats of the music. And since they can feel the beat, that's how they implement their dance moves. I think that the students grow through Vibrations because they learn through a lot of practice what a good performance looks like. They know that when they're on stage, they have to do a great job. They learn how to play with the audience, because a lot of times the kids will get on stage and they become so tuned into what they have to do that they become afraid to make eye contact or perform for the wall behind the audience. But as they grow and improve, now they play with the audience, interact with the audience a lot more. And that requires skill and practice. And it takes a certain amount of comfort level to incorporate the audience too. And a lot of the kids are young and can be a little apprehensive about that. But after doing it for a year, you see them just really enjoy being on stage. And they want to interact with the audience, include the audience. And that's really good for the younger kids. And once they become more confident, they enjoy being on stage a lot more. They enjoy performing, as opposed to the first time when they performed and everyone was nervous and it didn't look like anybody had fun. And I think that some of them continued to struggle for a while because they felt awkward on stage. They never performed in front of an audience like that before, but now they're just so confident. They want to do more. I've seen so much growth in that area.
It's been such an amazing trip to see these students growing throughout the semester, learning how to dance, learning their choreography numbers, working with the hearing dance choreographer that we brought from Ball State University. Working with myself, I taught one of the students how to play a different drum beat. And just seeing them growing to communicate with us, to give us, the hearing crew that came in with them, a chance to learn about them. It speaks to me on this level of the universality of music and how we do all actually share these common threads, even people who can't necessarily hear.
I want to prove to people that when they see a deaf person doing music, deaf people can do anything.
My name is Sean, but they call me Scene. Got a message here I'm delivering. Look, I understand that you might be leery, getting music beats from the heart of hearing.
My name is Sean Boyd, and I'm from Detroit, Michigan. I was born and raised there, and music was always a part of my life. You know, just growing up, my dad's a musician, my mom's a musician, so my entire life they've exposed me to all different types of music, and it's always been a dream of mine to get into the music industry.
When Sean arrived, everyone at the school was there. We literally packed the house, waiting for everyone to come see Sean. He did his set, he showed his music videos, he rapped for the kids in sign language. It was just a fascinating experience. The kids had tons of questions for him at the end of it. And they all wanted to know how he did what he did, how sign language and the music business worked together, and whether or not they could do it too.
I found out about vibrations this year when I came in town for the Deaf Nation Expo. They're exposing people to music. They're exposing the audiences that they perform in front of. They're exposing themselves to music. I mean, you can do anything just by seeing that, just by seeing someone perform something. You're sharing your soul, you're sharing your feelings, and that's what music and art is all about. It's about sharing how you feel inside, and they do amazing things, and I feel like they deserve the same recognition that I've received. For people to get that experience early on, it's far out, and I think the Vibrations sing is far out, and I'm looking forward to seeing them perform today.
I think now just deaf people are more empowered and they know their rights and they have access to a lot more today. So more and more hearing people are becoming aware of deaf people and deaf issues and the language, which really helps out, I think, all deaf people.
It's really important for us as teachers to provide adult role models for our deaf and hard of hearing kids so they can see what they can become when they grow older.
My dream is to become a doctor. There are a lot of hearing doctors out there, and I'd like to try and be a deaf doctor. Why not?
Someday, I'd like to make movies. I'm taking production classes right now, I'm learning to edit movies, and I like editing film.
I'm not sure yet, but I think probably an engineer. My dream would be a world without communication barriers.
I want to be a performer, and my goal is to have more deaf actresses and actors in Hollywood.
All my life, my dream was always to be the first deaf person on the moon. It's always been my dream.
When I grow up, I want to continue performing. I want to play sports. I want to be like Jenna.
The purpose of Vibrations is to be a visual, musical, performing arts troupe that goes out into the community as performers. We don't just perform for deaf audiences, we perform for the whole community. We perform all over Indiana and represent the diversity of our deaf students. Our kids learn how to present themselves, how to perform, how to entertain their audiences. At the same time, our audiences learn from us.
We just want to show that deaf people can dance to music. People think we can't, but we can.
Hearing people feel the beat, and deaf people feel that beat too. And that's what we dance to. We can dance. People think that only hearing people can dance, but we can dance too.
The show was awesome. Afterwards, people were hugging me. Some people cried. Some people laughed. I think it was a really good show, personally.
We performed, we danced, we did the Vibrations thing.
I thought we were more confident, perfect. Things went smoothly. This has been our best performance of the year.
The audience laughed. They loved it. I could tell by their expressions.
The quality of the show that we delivered to the audience was our best one yet. I mean, we struggled and practiced to the point where we were able to perform with all our hearts into it.
I think a lot of times people assume things just because they don't know. They've never had any opportunity to be around deaf people, but once they do, then they learn differently. They learn better. They'll see the difference, and it's a big difference. They won't look down on deaf people anymore if they knew that.
We have hearts. We have feet. We have ears. We have eyes. We have a nose. The only difference is we can't hear, but we do have brains.
I was born profoundly deaf and was always exposed to deaf culture. I've lived with it and am proud of it. I've never wished that I was hearing. I'm happy the way that I am and who I am.
I'm definitely 100% proud to be who I am. Some deaf people wish they were hearing, but I mean, you can't go back. You have to go forward. There's nothing wrong with being deaf. You have lots of abilities. The only ability that we don't have, like we always say, is that we can do everything a hearing person can, but hear. It's just something that we live with. And what's really important is that we educate people to understand that.
I just wanted to tell you guys that we are so fortunate to have you guys working with us. You've given us an opportunity to share our world and our experiences to everyone else, and we don't often get those opportunities. And I hope that people out there get to see the real thing of what we do and how we live and how we're just like everyone else.
It's really easier than you think to get to know somebody who's from a different background than you. It's really easy. You just have to ask to find out who they are and what they're all about. And more than often, they're really interested in letting you know that. They're really interested in opening up that communication of understanding. And I think that that's kind of at the heart of what Vibrations is about and what I hope that this project is, because it's definitely what I learned.
I hope that this documentary will educate hearing people so that they know that deaf people appreciate music and not necessarily hear it, but, can dance, can feel the beat, and, not that we can't do these things because we can't hear, to educate them and show our abilities and to teach people all over the world. That's our whole purpose.
It should be easier to accept each other, respect our languages, and understand each other better than to focus on our differences. It's better to get along and understand diversity, and this country is becoming more diverse with people moving here from all over the world. It's better to know your culture, know our culture, and to share that with each other.
I thought it was amazing. I mean, it was just unbelievable how all the dances was on beat and the music, and it was just exciting, and I just loved just how everybody worked together.
Showed how much deaf people can do without hearing anything. We're not limited at all.
To see it put in dance form was just amazing. It was very fun to watch.
Electric.
It was awesome. I enjoyed it a lot. I like looking around and seeing all the different performances. It was great.
I was blown away by the professionalism of the production and the confidence of the performers.
That is definitely an experience that adjoins the deaf culture and hearing culture. It makes like a happy medium in the middle and lets us know that we're all very equal.
This was the best show they've ever done, and they keep getting better and better, and it's just more rewarding all the time we put into it and that they put into it, and it pays off finding a show like today.